Dragons 13, St Helens 14 on a Saturday night evening of entertainment that will live long in the memory. Beautiful rugby league this, proper grindy stuff, some great tries as well. Oh, St Helens last week, of course, coming out on the wrong side of a tight one against the wire. This time it was their turn to inflict the same result on the Catalan Dragons. This was a wonderful game of rugby league, very entertaining indeed. Started very well indeed for the Saints of Welsby. Jack Welsby, I mean, what an incredible opening 10 minutes from Jack. He just kept running straight through the Dragons. I mean, the Dragons just couldn't live with him in that opening 10 minutes. Some real quality play from Jack Welsby. He got, of course, a try assist. He did the break that eventually led to the second Sailor try. 207 metres from 26 carries, 6 tackle busts, and 2 clean breaks from super Jack Welsby. A really good performance from him. Saints, of course, very, very potent in that first 10 minutes, 12-0 up. Catalan really didn't look like they were going to lay a glove on St Helens. And then, of course, the nemesis of the Saints, Sam Tomkins, rolls back the years. Yet again, fortuitous first try. Tommy Makinson, of course, will have enjoyed the fact that it was his kick that led to that first try. The fight back began, of course, for the Catalan Dragons. And then Sam Tomkins' second try on 34 minutes. It was reminiscent of the one that ditched Saints out of the competition a couple of seasons back. Some wonderful steps from Tomkins. Not as easy as that night back in 2 years ago. However, this was a wonderful try from Sam. And of course, it was 12-10. A penalty made it 12-all. And then it became a kick fest. Who could get the drop goals? Second half, war of attrition. Some really good. I mean, it was two teams that, for me, looked like they didn't want to lose it in that second half. It was a defensive, real grunt defensive type of game that we witnessed, but it was great entertainment, great fare. It had us all on the edge of our seats, and Saints will be very happy to have got the win. Steve McNamara will be disappointed. He blamed the referee at the end of the game. Bottom line was, from a neutral perspective, it was a very, very entertaining fixture and one that I enjoyed on Saturday night. I mean, interestingly, the completed sets will concern Paul Wellens, 25-32 more completed sets for the Catalan Dragons. Saints at times a little bit disrespectful with the ball. They'll want to work on that. 11 errors on the night from them. They also had 47 missed tackles. I mean, if you're missing 47 missed tackles, Steve McNamara's got a question. What did his side do when they broke through them tackles? I mean, they've got to be better. They've got to be better at finishing. This has been something that's plagued the Catalan Dragons now for many a season. They need to get better at turning, play the balls in the opposition's 20 into scores. 25-22 in the favour of Catalan Dragons in good ball position, but they couldn't get the job done. I mean, look, Jonny Lomax, delighted for Jonny Lomax. This is a player that's been getting some right pelters of late from their so-called fans on social media. I say so-called fans, we know that the real St Helens supporters would not come out and disrespect a club legend like Jonny, like some are doing online. And I was really pleased for Lomax that it was his 2 drop goals that got the win for the Saints. Not as much pelters this week, Jonny. I wonder why. Tristan Sailor, he scored his 2 tries. Again, jury out for me still where Tristan's concerned. He couldn't miss, could he, with those 2 tries? He's all-round play at the moment. Decent in defence, but I think we've got to see a lot more from Tristan Sailor. There's no way he's going to fullback because Jack Welsby is playing too well. It was a decent performance this from Catalan. It shows that they're a competitive side. They will want to make sure that they get through into the semi-finals of the Challenge Cup this weekend. Of course, Salford Red Devils will be flying over to Perpignan for that one, and they need to win that. If they was to bow out in the Challenge Cup, real pressure, I think, would be applied to Steve McNamara from the Catalan faithful. No question about that whatsoever. However, a really good, perhaps a Challenge Cup win for Steve McNamara, well, I think then he will become yet again a legend of that club. He already is, based on what he has done for that side over the years. Right. I mean, look, St Helens third now in Super League. Everybody's saying, oh, you know, they're not playing very well this season. And the Saints of old, they're sitting third. And I think that's in itself is quite worrying because we're all saying we haven't seen Saints sparkle. Yes, they've sparkled in games where they should have sparkled. Salford, of course, still looms large in the memory. But this was a grinding win. They're in third spot in the league. You know, they're sitting ahead of last year's quadruple winners. You know, they're ahead of the Wolves. They're ahead of the Lee Leopards now, who are in free fall at the moment. I mean, you've got to give Saints the due. They're sticking around, and that could pose big problems for teams if they can continue to keep their middle unit fit, because that for me is where this game was won and lost. In a 13 14 affair, especially one that had no tries in the second half. You really do need to look at the nuances of the game, what goes on down the middle, the defensive efforts that win you the right to win a game. Coming into this match, we knew that Pangai Jr. up against Alex Walmsley with a supporting cast of the likes of Matty Lees, Ignatius Parsi, of course, Julien Busquet, all of these wonderful players that were, do the hard meters down the middle. And for me, that's where it was won and lost. St. Helens came and they conquered. No doubt about that. That was the platform that was required. And for me, both Matty Lees and Alex Walmsley were sensational on the night, not just in the fact that they had better go forward than Pangai Jr. and Busquet, but also their defensive efforts completely outshone them as well. On both sides of the ball, Matty Lees and Alex Walmsley stood strong, stood firm, punched really, really well. Walmsley, a brilliant assist, of course, for Sailor's second try. And those, for me, were the two players for the Saints that stood out. Yes, Jack Welsby had a great opening 10 minutes. There was a lot of good running plays in the game for Saints. But as you know, I will always, in a tight affair, look what's going on in and around the middle. A note in dispatches for Joe Batchelor, 46 tackles indeed for him. Morgan Knowles did 35. Wingfield did 42. There were some massive defensive efforts in there for the Saints. But the 3 points I'm going to give to Alex Walmsley. Yes, he got the assist. He did 24 tackles indeed. He only missed one. 19 carries, 121 metres, 6 tackle busts in the game. Walmsley, for me, absolute quality. 2 points we're going to give to his partner in crime, Matty Lees. Again, both sides of the ball, really good. 47 tackles from Matty Lees in this game, 21 carries, 131 metres. No other forward on the field ran for more metres than Matty Lees in this. Real good quality show from Lees. And like I say, that for me was pivotal for Saints in this game. Their two starting prop forward, Walmsley and Lees, were outstanding on the evening. They laid the groundwork. They restricted Pangai Jr. to 86 metres. Good effort from Busquet. He got 124. But the win, they won that centre ground. And, of course, the supporting cast and the defensive efforts of the likes of Knowles and Batchelor really did, in the end, nail it. I have to say, there was some great defensive efforts also on the Catalan Dragons side. Da Costa, 55 tackles, 50 going in from Oliver Partington as well. Really good efforts on their part. But the 1 point I'm going to give to Sam Tomkins, and that might surprise people. Jonny Lomax, yes, he iced those 2 kicks, and very well done indeed for him. But I think for me, Tomkins doesn't play. I think Saints win this possibly quite comfortably. That little bit of genius from Sam. We know he can marshal his team around the field. Catalan look a different side when Tomkins is in it. He organises them, he makes them tick, and he made them tick in this yet again. 2 kicks out of his potential 3, 2 tries on the night. He was outstanding. Clearly Catalan's best player on the evening, and that's why I'm giving him the point. Yes, I know, Saints fans, Lomax kicked the kick. I get that, but it's what puts you in those positions and what puts you in the positions to kick drop goals. His territory, his meters down the middle, and that was Alex Walmsley, and that was Matty Lees. What are your thoughts on that edition of In the Sheds? We will be back in 2 weeks' time for round number 7 of the Betfred Super League. I can't wait. Before that, we've got 4 tasty little Challenge Cup games. We will be back for the final whistle for the Challenge Cup, because don't forget, tomorrow night, live, 8 p.m, is Super League Raw Weekly. You can't beat a bit of weekly. And the members out there, you, of course, have got Round Unpacked to look forward to later on this afternoon. From me to you, Round 6 is done and dusted. We'll be back very soon for more In the Sheds.